Hello, Tarot fam. So we are back with our Around the Room on the Beckham Peltz family dynamic drama. This is a series where I'm reading 4 of the individuals that are in it. Brooklyn, I've already done that, so you can go see it. I'll drop a card at the end of this. We're going to do Nicola in this one, and then we're going to do David and Victoria last. So we're not here to assign blame. We're going to look at everyone individually with a clear mind. We're here to understand where the tensions began, how it's being experienced, and what they can do to actually mend it. So I'll do my little Yellow Brick Road spread that I do at the end. This reading's going to be focused on Nicola. Stick around. We'll be right back. Hey, Tarot fam. So if it's your first time here, I'm Annabelle. I'm a tarot practitioner and psychic for over 35 years. We're going to be breaking apart the Beckham Peltz family dynamic. We are going to be looking at the how, the why, and most importantly, what they can do to fix it. So I'm glad you're here. I'm going to bring up that card view. Make sure you hit the like button as soon as that card view goes up. And I want to remind everyone that things that we do are not fixed and frozen in time. We can always use free will to get ourselves out of a tricky situation. It's something I do all the time with my clients. So let's take a look at the origin of this issue with Nicola and the Beckhams. Not Brooklyn, but the rest of the Beckhams. So I'm going to make this card view nice and big, and I'm using my Carnival Tarot. I just thought this was a good one for them. I don't know why, but let's see. What was the origin of the issue valid? Now, we know from Brooklyn's post that Nicola claims that she had to get another dress. But there were articles from 4 years ago. And mind you, the wedding was 4 years ago. This is a long time ago. Like we're going back some time. Nicola was actually talking to Valentino. God rest him. We just lost Valentino. She was working with Valentino on her dress, and that was about a year's long process. So bailing on the Victoria Beckham dress, she didn't have to scramble to get another dress. She had another dress. I am confident that she probably had a few costume changes. I wore 2 dresses at my wedding. So, and my first wedding, which was in 1996 or 1997, I had 2 dresses at that too. So this isn't a new thing, guys. I had a convertible dress in my first wedding. So was the origin of Nicola's problem, it looks like strictly with Victoria, was it valid? Let's take a look. 8 of Swords. Wheel of Fortune, 7 of Wands on the bottom, Page of Cups. Up top, we've got the 6 of Swords and the Ace of Swords. So I do think that Victoria had a lot of opinions that were not received well by Nicola. I think she really was making some requests. There is a statement in Brooklyn's diatribe that he put up on Instagram that Victoria was very upset that they had their grandmother sit with them, which is very strange. That just doesn't seem right to me. But I do think she came into the equation with sweet and light. I think she was sweet. I think she did make an effort to be as nice as possible. However, I do think that, and to be sure, Victoria was raised in a more privileged household than common household. That's why she was Posh Spice. You know, she was, and there's a funny interview with Victoria where her and David are there, and she was saying something about they had to take the old car, and he was like, come on, what was the old car? And the old car was like a Rolls Royce or a Bentley or something crazy like that. So I do think that she was raised with a certain level of expectation herself. I think Nicola was as well. Nothing goes as badly as when you put 2 privileged bratty girls in the same room together. I know, I've been around privileged bratty girls. I might even be one. But I think that She was not willing to hear the opinions of others. Six of Swords up here. I do think that the expectation of Victoria was, we are bringing you into our family, versus Nicola's expectation of bringing Brooklyn into her family. And we do see this in married dynamics a lot of the time. People will gravitate more toward one side of the family. It may be for holidays. It may be because of logistics. You may live a different place. One of my aunts, I have three amazing aunts on my mom's side. One of them moved out to Pennsylvania to go to university. She never came back. She got married out there. And so there was kind of this exclusivity to her. And it was a little bit different. They went to a country club. They were a little bit more posh than we were back here in New Jersey. They didn't have the same accent as we did. They said home instead of home. So, I do think that Nicola thought she was bringing back Brooklyn into her life, and Victoria and David were like, no, we're absorbing you into our clan. And I think she was averse to that. Ace of Swords, she did not want to sacrifice her family for going into the Beckhams. I think also at her core, we have the Seven of Swords here. At her core, I think she really was quite agreeable to having a balance there. And I think that there was an offer of not really having that balance. I think the way that things were, I think it was clear that she had to lean more heavily to the Beckham side, and be part of that branding and that PR, be part of that whole machine. And I think perhaps she did not want to. I'm going to check on this real quick, because she was part of the entertainment industry, albeit she hasn't done a movie in how old is she? She's 32 or something like that. I don't think she's done a movie in about 10 years. I think about 10 years. It might be more. Why didn't she want to be part of the Beckham family branding? Because she thought it was old and staid, and she felt that her own branding was going to be fresher and new, and a better foundation. The world here says that's old. You guys are sunsetting and we are coming up. We're going to be the hot new thing. And she was branded at one point as a Hollywood it girl. It didn't seem to take off, but I do think that there was some PR push, engineered push to be sure, to make her a Hollywood it girl, which I still don't really understand, because there's like 5 or 6 it girls at the same time. So I think this is really the crux of what we're looking at. Before we go any further, we got to talk about the dress, and we'll talk about this in more detail in another reading. So she said, what happened with the Victoria Beckham wedding dress? What is Nicola's story? We'll put her on the left, noun and verb. And we've got Victoria, noun and verb. Please, Victoria, don't be the jerk in this. Please, please, please. Nicola's story. Ace of Cups. Knight of Swords. She's the one who cut it off, according to these cards. She wanted the Valentino dress. She wanted a bigger designer. I'm just going to say it. Victoria said, Two of Pentacles, wear the 2. 4 of Swords. I think it was Nicola. I think Nicola said, I'm not wearing this stupid dress. I think that's what she did. She said, I don't want to wear your mom's design. I want to wear the designs of my choosing. Bridezilla or no, sometimes you got to give these girls what they want when they're getting married. So would Nicola, and again, don't worry about it, guys. Ask your questions down below. Put them all in caps. I will address them. We're going to do a live on this. We're probably going to do more than one live, but we'll do a live, and we'll do several lives and unpack your questions. And I may answer your questions in another production video. So if you have some, drop them down below, drop them like it's hot. Will Nicola come to the negotiating table? Will she do it? Page of Swords, Two of Swords, Ace of Wands, Strength in reverse, the High Priestess, and the Ace of Swords. Last swords there, guys. Swords, especially what we would call the immature swords, the ace, the page. Those are the beginning of those suits. We treat the aces and the pages very similarly. Ace, we see the job listing. Page, we have the job, it's day one at work. So with this, I think that Nicola would come to a negotiating table, but with that High Priestess in reverse up at the top, this lady right here, I think that she wants to lay bare all of the bullish that she has perceived. And I think she wants to talk about that more than how do we move forward professionally and as a family? How do we do that? I think she wants more apologies and groveling and bending of the knee and we're sorry and what can we do to make you comfortable in this moment. Very much in the way that a maitre d' or a concierge would make your visit to a restaurant or your stay at a resort better for some perceived slight or misalignment with your needs. So I don't think this is going to happen. If she comes to the negotiating table, I think it's going to be a war of words. That Ace and Page of Swords are very fighty. The Four of Swords is extremely fighty. That is about to bust loose because Four of Swords in reverse. Our next one is Five of Swords in reverse, which is full-blown battle. We are battling in that moment. It is chaos. It is craziness. Strength in reverse. She has been holding her tongue. So that negotiating table is going to let loose a Hoover Dam of explicatives and feelings, and it will not be cohesive or comprehensive. It's going to just come tumbling out. So I don't think the negotiating table is a good idea for Nicola right now. I think she has a little too much to say that is not organized. Mind you, she's still pretty young too. I mean, she's still pretty young. So where are they headed if nothing changes? Where is Nicola headed if nothing changes? Eight of Wands in reverse, full communication breakdown. Knight of Wands, Judgment in reverse. Five of Cups in the back, 10 of Wands, and Queen of Cups. Right now, I do think that they are headed toward complete blockade, complete shutdown, complete breakdown of communication with the Beckhams, and she'll be perfectly happy. She doesn't have anything to lose. It's not her family that she's losing. It's not remembering the, mini horse that she got for one of her birthdays or the fun trip to Ibiza. She's not losing anything. She has no nostalgia wrapped up in this. She can look to the future. She can cultivate a happy future. They're still going to have Thanksgiving, Hanukkah, Christmas, New Year's with her family. They're still going to have a family, and it's her family, the one that she intimately knows. I think she's a bit myopic about this. She's not really taking into consideration the scope of her husband's experience. I think she is really looking purely at what is going to make her happy in this marriage. This is a recipe for disaster. This is the direction that they are headed, though. She'll be happy, but I do think it's a recipe for disaster. So what should she do if she were so inclined to smooth this out? What would fix this? Ace of Swords, that is the path. The pressure is the Knight of Cups, her husband being very upset. The hidden hand is the Queen of Swords. I don't think she realizes the amount of power Victoria Beckham wields in the industry. I would be very, very afraid of this woman. I don't think that this woman will stop until she gets back into the place that she wants to be. Public face, the Sun in reverse. She will continue. And again, like, it's very confusing, like what Nicola Peltz Beckham, what her position is in the world, other than ultra wealthy girl who was in a few movies and has now married a Beckham. And at one point was dating Anwar Hadid. So, you know, she's Star Effer Incorporated, 9 Inch Nails, if you ask me. Little bit, like, you know, you can be, and I saw a lot of these chicks when I was coming up, coming from wealthy families, going backstage, getting to see different bands and things like that, and becoming, for all intents and purposes, kind of groupies, thinking that they were going to get onto a different level. But the reality is you don't. You just kind of swirl around the drain. I'm not saying she's swirling around the drain, but I'm saying she was posing as something that she's not exactly. She's an attractive girl. Is she a supermodel? No, I'm not going to say so. Is she a great actress? I have no idea. I've never seen her in anything, so I don't know. The public face is that with the Sun in reverse, it's good. She's not going to proceed, though. We're going to stay at the level that she's at. So, you know, use Meghan Markle as a really good example. Do you want to be the nefarious woman who pulled her husband away from his family? Do you want to be Wallis Simpson, Meghan Markle? Do you want to be in that category? It's a choice she's going to have to make. Private goal, death in reverse. She doesn't want to change. And the likely pivot is the devil in reverse. So in order to fix the situation, if she does not want to change, and again, there's a lot of free will here, guys. If she does not want to change with this death in reverse, the devil in reverse, she's got to let him go. I hate to say it. You know, I don't tell people to break up with a spouse. I don't tell people how to conduct themselves in terms of quitting jobs or keeping jobs or anything like that. But in this particular situation, I think the only way for her to smooth this out, unless she puts down her swords, is she's got to let him go and let him go live his own life. I don't know if he's going to be happy in this particular gilded cage. I'm talking about Brooklyn. I don't think he's going to be happy in this gilded cage. I think he's got a lot of emotions to work out now. And I think abandoning his family, 2 brothers, 1 sister, mom and dad, abandoning that family and that gorgeous house out in the Cotswolds, you know, that their farm is just amazing. He's going to be broken. And she's going to have to deal with that. And I don't think that she is equipped to deal with it. I don't think that she wants a broken Beckham for a spouse. So I think that that is pretty tricky there. Pretty tricky. So kids, let's do this. We are going to cut this video right here. We're going to look at David Beckham next. And we're going to see what Bend It Like Beckham can do in this situation. But thank you so much for sharing this time with me. I am so glad that you are here. I know you have a lot of choices on the interwebs, and I'm so glad that you're picking me to hang out with. Let me know down below what else you would like to see on this, because we are going to be doing some lives and we're not going to leave this topic alone. We're going to be on top of it. So I will see you guys very soon in the future.